guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I have found a new undisclosed location because we have special reason for it. This is the revised, refreshed, updated 2020 Honda Civic Type R, and we are lucky enough to have a new color added to the palette. This is Boost Blue, new for 2020. But before we dive in to this new Type R, let's talk a little bit of history about it. So Type R has been around since 1997, if you could believe that. For so many years, it was forbidden fruit to people living in the United States until 2017. That was a big year for many different reasons. First of all, first time the Type R was brought to the United States. Also, first time that a Type R featured a turbocharged inline-4 engine instead of that high revving VTEC NA motor from the previous generations. Now, it's really taken the world by storm because Honda has been able to show that a front-wheel drive vehicle could perform like none other, not only on the street, but definitely on the racetrack for many, many years, holding that record for the fastest front-wheel drive production vehicle around the famed Nürburgring. They decided, though, not to rest on their laurels. They wanted to make some changes. They've listened to some owners and done some great engineering and brought those changes. So let's go ahead. We're going to dive into this 2020 Boost Blue Honda Civic Type R and see, really, is it still the king of all the hot hatches? Right off the bat, that color pops like a sparkling blueberry. What's interesting is that a lot of people are saying that this is the same color as nitrous blue, which was on the Ford Focus RS. It is not. There's not a ton of gold metal flake in this particular colors. But let's start up front, and we're gonna see some changes. Now, same business. This is the 10th generation of the Honda Civic. There is a new one coming. You're still gonna get that same headlight design, LED headlights, turn signals, and daytime running lamps. We drop down, here is some change. So put away your waffle maple syrup and all that for your big stack of waffles, because they got rid of the waffle makers. No griddle design anymore. It's nice and smooth, flat black with your LED fog lamps. I do like this piece of bodywork that they brought into it and color matched it. So no matter what color you get, the body color of your Type R will be brought into here, but you can see how smooth it is. On the corners, I always like to point out that this is for aerodynamic efficiency. These vents are not for brake cooling. So air is gonna hit the front of the vehicle, obviously, and now we're gonna channel it over those flared out fenders. Because remember, Civic Type R, well over 1.5 inches wider than your standard Honda Civic. And this is the 10th generation. Like I said, we're coming close to the end of it. So this might be the one to get for you. You have that massive front splitter, still that faux carbon fiber design, but I'm telling you, if you're gonna do faux carbon fiber, this is as close as the real deal that you're gonna get. I like the way it kicks up on the side. You got the red stripe that signifies that this is a Type R all the way across, and then here is another massive change. They revised, they refreshed the grille area, really cleaned it up. This large section was actually lower on last year's model, but I like the way they raised it up. Just have one main grille area here. You have that iconic red Honda badge, only available on the Type R. If you see a Civic Si or a Civic, somebody changed that out. This is how it comes from the factory, and the reason why, it goes back to the 1960s when Honda first started racing in Formula One and also winning, not only racing, but also winning. That signifies that whole Formula One history. You got your iconic Type R badge. Love the font, love the way they kind of make the R a little bit larger. And remember, this is all for increasing airflow with this new grille design. Now, as we drop down, you still get the same flat black grille, plastic design on the lower section, that massive intercooler, because like I said, this is turbocharged intercooled, and you can see just how far that front splitter comes out. Now, one thing to be aware of, if you're wondering, well, Joe, how do they cool the brakes? Brake cooling is actually done on both corners in between the bodywork and the splitter. So deep in here, and I'm actually sticking my hand into it, are the actual brake cooling ducts. It's nothing going on up here or on the sides. Now, when we get up onto the hood, same exact hood, you got clean body lines and that wonderful center air duct that's gonna bring cool air in, and it's about channeling airflow. So the air is gonna come in and then drag out. It's not about bringing air into the air box. That's actually all done from the front. This is for channeling air, and I'll show you how they do that underneath when we pop the hood. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with new for 2020? You're getting the same 20-inch gloss black wheel, but what's all new is behind there, you're getting massive rotors that are two-piece. So you have the aluminum hat, you have your fully ventilated rotor. They got rid of the cross drill design. They're saying that this is bringing better braking efficiency, and they revised the suspension. Not only did they change up when you go into R mode and have that adaptive setting, it actually reads the road 10 times faster than last year's, but there's also some different engineering, which I'm gonna talk about when I pop the hood, but you still have those great Brembo calipers, nice large caliper, gonna clamp down on that rotor, and you still have those sport contact tires made by Continental, rubber band. They're basically a rubber band, but boy, oh boy, do they stick. This is a track day tire. You're only gonna get about 10,000 miles out of one of these, but they're super sticky. Now, as we go down the side, you're still gonna have that great flared out fender look, and I'm gonna have Crown Vic show the backside that is functional. Now, the way it works is the air is gonna hit on that corner vent, it's gonna go up in the fender, and then it's gonna go down the side of the vehicle. And as we go down the side of the vehicle, you can see the beautiful body line coming up at the bottom of the door, and then you have that side sill extension. Air is gonna ram right to this point. Now, if you ever wondered, why is the fender flare for the rear not rounded? They did that on purpose. Air is gonna hit here, and then it's gonna kick back towards the rear spoilers. So when you look at this and you say, boy, I made a paper airplane back in school that didn't fly very well, that sort of had as many folds as this body does. This body has been folded exactly to cheat the air to the best of its ability, especially as we come off the roof. So as you come off the roof, you have this raised area, goes into this extension. You have those vortex generators that's gonna clean up the air, because air creates turbulence. When you take a car and ram it through the air, it creates a lot of turbulence. This is gonna clean up the air as it comes off, and now we have that massive rear wing. I'm glad that they keep it gloss black, color matched on the end caps, and then as we bring it around, you could actually see that this is a dual wing. You have a wing up top, and you also have this lower wing. This channels air underneath and above. You got your Type R badge, same exact taillight design, and then here's where they changed it up. So I guess you could take a little bit of syrup out for your waffles, because we still have this waffle maker design, but they did bring some of the body work into that to kind of split it up. I wish they would have done a little bit more, so I am gonna zonk this area. Up front, I'm not gonna zonk it because they cleaned it up pretty well, but back here I'm gonna zonk it. Massive rear diffuser, and then of course you got that Ferrari F40 style exhaust, the two larger exhaust outlets with the one in the center, that massive rear diffuser, your Civic badge, that red Honda badge, and the Type R looking really good. Let's pop the hood though and see what's powering this front wheel drive monster. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, but you know what? It's all the way over to the right, but I still think on the ultimate hot hatch, let's zonk it. It'd be nice to have hydraulic hood struts. Here's what I wanted to show you. So here's where that center air duct is. If you notice, you'll have this aluminum panel here. This is a rain guard. So the air is actually gonna travel down into this area behind the rain guard, and then it makes the air go off to the side and down into that side vent, come out the side vent. So that proves that it's not cooling the engine per se or bringing air to the engine. It's all about air management and trying to take some of that hot air out of here. Now, underneath the hood, there it is. I love the bright red with some of that faux carbon fiber design. That is that 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 306 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. It's only mated to one thing and one thing only, a 6-speed manual. So either learn or you may not be driving this Type R. The car weighs 3,121 pounds. It's got that limited slip differential up front that's really gonna allow it to grip the road like a panther. What's amazing is 0 to 60 around 5 seconds flat, quarter mile in 13.5 at 107 miles an hour, top speed 169 miles an hour. Now here's the even more amazing thing. On a skid pad, G-forces, this could actually obtain over 1 G, 1.02 Gs on a skid pad. A lot of that has to do not only with those sticky tires, but some of the changes that I'm gonna mention in a second. And MPGs, you're gonna be a big winner. 22 in the city, 28 on the highway. So here are some of the changes. You now have low friction ball joints up front, updated bushings both front and rear. We got the rear tuned dampers, and those rotors, those 2-piece rotors, actually shave 5 pounds off the front end of the vehicle. And remember, that's rotating mass. They even changed up the anti-roll bars to really kind of stiffen up the steering and make this thing corner nice and flat. But why don't we go ahead? They say it sounds a little different for 2020. Let's fire up this Type R and see what kind of noise it makes. All right, guys, we're inside the Honda Civic Type R. It's bringing back some memories for me. I do, from time to time, miss my 2017 Civic Type R. It's not that I hated the car or anything, but being in this Boost Blue one, definitely you're gonna get attention. And right off the bat, I noticed the changes to the driving, and I can't wait to take you for a drive in this. Now, you're probably saying, well, Joe, how much is this 2020 Honda Civic Type R? You're looking at an MSRP around $37,995. Now, if you're wondering, well, is that more money than the 2019? It is. Only $695 more for the 2020 compared to the 2019. I think if I was going to do it again, I would go Championship White. I like Boost Blue, but Championship White really has that sweet spot in my heart. But let's get to the door panels and see how they're still looking and what you're getting for the money. So at the top of the door panel, nice soft material. I do like the faux carbon fiber design, the anodized aluminum, and that Alcantara material with the red stitching is absolutely gorgeous. Now, you do have Alcantara on the armrest. The only problem is it's hard as a rock. That was one thing I zonked right away, even on my own Civic Type R. You got a nice pocket for a bottle of water and maybe one cheeseburger from Mickey D's. There's not a lot of room there. Now, as we get to the dash, still loving the red anodized aluminum look. The carbon fiber looks great, or faux carbon fiber. Soft touch material, both top and bottom. And then really digging how they still have the infotainment system exactly like 2019. So you have that 7-inch system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Yes, of course, you have navigation, real easy to use. And then remember, they brought back the volume knob, which I know a lot of people were missing. There was actually a lot of upset people writing letters to Honda saying, bring back the knob. You could go into your climate controls right here on the infotainment system. I'm gonna put it into reverse. There we are out back. It's a little grainy, but you do have trajectory, which is nice. And you could actually change the angle of the camera, which is really great. I'll put it back into neutral. You got your nice bright red start stop button. Little cubby up top. You could put probably 3 Snickers bars, maybe 2 this way and 1 that way. You do have your USB connection. And the reason why you have a cord is, I'm gonna have Vic kind of show down below. This is where it actually plugs in, and you have another area for your Twinkies. So you can line up your Twinkies here. I could probably fit about 4 Twinkies here and then have your Snickers up top. This is all new for 2020. They went back to the past. So it's like Back to the Future. This is that old style teardrop design. It's got a 90-gram counterbalance weight to it. So really allows more smooth shifting. The throws are so short, just as short as 2019. They didn't make any changes there, but I love the red. It is still metal, so if you leave it in the sun, you're probably gonna burn your hand. Just be careful with that. You got your plastic. This is a little bit on the harder side, but I do like the way they have the switch here to go into plus R mode or comfort. We have our Type R badge with the chassis numbers set up here. Very nicely done. 2 cup holders. Here's our key fob. Oh, and before I forget, you do have that Alcantara. This is new for 2020. Not only the shift knob, but this Alcantara material with the red stitching. Very classy, blends in nicely with the door panels. You have your Honda key fob. They have the red Honda there. And then, of course, you have lock, unlock, and then you can pop the hatch remotely. 2 cup holders, more Alcantara. And this is semi-soft. This is hard. This is semi-soft. You can slide this back. You got your 2 cup holders. You could drop a big gulp. Seriously, a super Slurpee. And you got a USB down in there. That's a really great design. Plus, you can slide this back and forward, which is great. Or you can lift it up and you have a nice little sliding tray for some breath mints. You know, it's nice. Go do a track day. Maybe you're not running the best times that you want. You get a bad taste in your mouth. You can pop a breath mint and make you feel good. It's like a Mentos. And then seats. Still those same great one-piece backs, the Type R embroidery. I love this gripping material to hold you in. The bolstering is extreme, but I'm telling you right now, these are probably some of the most comfortable seats. That was one thing I regretted, going from the Type R to the Focus RS. The Focus RS, those seats were awesome. The Recaros really held you in nicely, but they weren't comfortable for everyday driving or even driving for long periods of time. Of course, they're manual control for the passenger and the driver, but like I said, I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of headroom in here, great visibility. Come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind the new Alcantara wrap steering wheel on this Type R. All right, guys, here we are, business time, behind the new Alcantara wrap steering wheel. You still get those great brushed aluminum pedals, has such a great look. Good sized dead pedal. I just wish that was the same design as the pedals, so I am gonna zonk the look of it, but it is a nice sized dead pedal, which is good. Seats, easy to get set up to your body, really. And I really recommend sitting in one. It's gonna surprise you. I know they look aggressive, but they feel really, really good. Steering wheel, same design steering wheel, just all new Alcantara. So you have the red Alcantara with the darker black. Love the stitch work. You got that iconic badge. So much history staring at you in the face with that red Honda badge. And then you're gonna get the same gauge setup. Super clear, super easy to understand. You have different gauges that you could actually scroll through. So in the center, you got your speedometer, your tach. When I go into Plus R, look at this. You see the Type R there? That's gonna change everything. Changes the tach, the background. I could go back to Sport very, very easily. Plus, there's a plethora of different gauges here. So if you keep pushing the gauge button, you got different things. You got G meter. You could time yourself as you're going to the grocery store. All those types of things, very, very easy to navigate through. Bar graph for fuel and for coolant. And then what you're gonna get on top of this that you didn't get before is right over here. So you have some of that Honda sensing technology that's gonna keep you safe, the emergency braking and whatnot. You can shut your traction control off real easily right there. But very, very impressed with what they have done with the changes. Let's check out the back seat and see if there's anything new for 2020 out back. All right, guys, back seat time. You're gonna get that great usability. Everybody gets a red seatbelt. So people up front get a red seatbelt, people in the back get a race red seatbelt as well. That's good for another 10 horsepower easy. One-piece backs, I do like the faux carbon fiber design. Definitely looks like the back of a race seat. The only zonk back here, no connectivity. So on their top level Civic model, no connectivity, no USB. I'm not even looking for AC vent. Just a 12 volt or a USB would be nice. You also lose the middle seat. I know that's a sore spot for some people, but that's the history of the Type R. 2 cup holders, you got a Skittle tray so you can taste the rainbow. No armrest, that's the cut weight. We're trying to cut weight. I guess what they could have done was offer this without a rear seat. That would have been pretty wild, because I know I don't need a rear seat, but that's what makes this usable, is that if you have a family, if you need to drive people around, you could have your cake, eat it too. But why don't we check out the cargo area, because that, if you thought under the hood was impressive, underneath that rear hatch is gonna blow you away. All right, guys, time to open up that hatch. Remember, it's a hot hatch for a reason, because it's only available in a hatchback. You push the button, you lift it up. This is really the greatest asset here. No pun intended, but you do have lots of space. We're looking at almost 24 cubic feet of space. And what's great is that they actually engineered, Honda engineers came up with this security shade, because when this is closed, you don't want people looking at what you bought at the mall or what you bought at Costco or something. So what they did was you have a stationary security shade, which can be removed, or this one actually slides. The reason why it can't come this way is because of the angle of the glass, but you could see almost 25 cubic feet of space. We lift up the cargo mat, and guess what? You just have a can of flat fix and an air pump. No spare tire, obviously, to cut the weight. We'll bring that back down, but if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. I've been waiting for this. Let's go ahead, take this Honda Civic Type R for a little spin. All right, guys, we left the undisclosed location. We're in the Honda Civic Type R with the revisions for 2020. It's got that auto rev match downshifting feature. Down into first. On throttle. at the grip. Look at the grip. Brakes feel phenomenal. Look at this. Look at this. She sticks. I'm telling you right now, you can feel the difference between the 2020 compared to my 2017. The brake feedback I thought was already great has been taken to extra race car status. Their gearbox, really smooth. I didn't get any second gear grind. So if you are part of that 2017 to 2019 that would get that second gear grind from time to time, I've gotten it. And I obviously know how to shift, not in this 2020. The way the limited slip diff just claws at the asphalt is phenomenal. And in Plus R mode, which obviously when I'm in, the sound, you get more sound in the cabin, and you're definitely getting great driver input. The feedback to the steering wheel, those changes, it's ridiculous. It's on really another level. They've done a phenomenal job. Now, visibility out the front, just like before, is great. Out the back, super clear, even with that second wing that kind of is near the bottom. But boy, throttle response is great. No understeering in the turn whatsoever. And just a little bit of wheel hop when I shifted into second. Other than that, no torque steer. No torque steer whatsoever. All right, guys, let's have a little bit more fun doing what this Type R is all about. In the twisty bits, on throttle. The gearbox is so smooth, really short throws. Communicates so much better front to rear. The back kind of just comes out a little bit to allow you to square off that turn. But I'm telling you right now, this gearbox is even more mechanical in the feel. The shift knob, I'm actually digging the shape, and I'm digging that counterweight measure that they put in there just to kind of balance things out. On throttle. Unbelievable. So smooth, so slick, just really allows you to be confident. It allows you to be confident. I wish the gear indicator on the dash was a little bit larger, but it's nice that the bright LED lights when you're in Plus R mode kind of flash to let you know it's time to shift. But wow, what a great experience in this Type R. It's kind of make me want one, to be honest with you. That's how good of an experience it is, especially for a front-wheel drive car. Unbelievable. On throttle. Wow, that was awesome. That was so awesome. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. They have definitely done the business with this Type R. It's like if you could understand why it looks the way that it does, and maybe it doesn't need to be that extreme. I'm very curious what the next generation of the Type R is gonna look like. If it wasn't so extreme, maybe it'd be a little bit more appealing to a wider group of people, but it's a damn shame because this thing is nothing but the business when it comes to the power delivery, the way it handles, and every other facet of it. But we're gonna get back to our undisclosed location and wrap this up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a heck of a day with this Boost Blue Honda Civic Type R. Definitely got to first off thank Davis and everybody over at Honda for allowing Rady's Rides access to this press fleet vehicle. It really shows that there are engineers, there's designers, there's groups of people that can take a vehicle and make it perform like none other before. A front-wheel drive vehicle should not perform like this Type R, but it does, and it does it so well. And you know what? Those little changes that they made was like fine-tuning a violin or a cello, because now you're getting such great feedback, such great feel. It just makes you feel invincible to turn those fast lap times and show up a lot of those rear-wheel drive car owners what you can do in this type of format. But hopefully you enjoyed this Civic Type R. Is it still king? I'm definitely saying yes. I don't know any other front-wheel drive vehicle that could touch this one. But if you want to keep seeing these hot hatches on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. He's loving this Type R. He actually wants to rent one for a week and never give it back. We'll see if we can make that happen for you, Vic. Thanks for your hard work, and just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.